Hi everyone, I'm Q and I'm writing a book, and if you're here, I'm pretty sure you are too. We are on day 5 of your book nonfiction outlining challenge, and today we're going to be wrapping up all the questions that we've been talking about and finally get to the theme of this week, which has been, who is your reader and who are you? Starting out this week, we've been asking a lot of questions about who you are, what perspective you bring, how you're similar to other people, how you're different than other people, how you're pulling experiences out of yourself to really write your story. And today we are going to be asking about the other person on the side of the table. We're asking who your reader is. And this question is really important, I think, especially for nonfiction, because when you're at the beginning phase and you're trying to figure out how to write, you can get really stuck with writer's block. All this week we've been asking questions about who you are, what perspective you bring, how you're similar to people, how you're different from people, how you're going to be pulling experiences out to fill out your book. But today we're going to be asking who's on the other side of the table. Every book is a conversation with someone. Hopefully it's a conversation with a lot of people. But in the end, when a reader sits down and opens your book, that book is a conversation with them and only them, because they're the only one experiencing it in that moment. So it can be really helpful to get to know who your ideal reader is so that you can make sure that you're talking directly to them. And the reason that this is such an important question to me is because in nonfiction, it can be really easy to get tripped up when you're talking about yourself and talking about all these facts and trying to pull it together and trying to make things really organized so that this general person on the other side of your book actually understands what you're trying to get to. And sometimes when you hit writer's block, it can feel like you've got too much going on, you've got too much to say, you've got too much to organize, and you can have a really hard time just getting it out and flowing. In that moment, it can be really helpful to know exactly who you're talking to. And I don't mean in general. I don't mean I'm talking to working class moms who have 3 kids and have a dog. That's pretty specific, but it is still very general. I mean, take a moment to kind of sit back and think, if I could only tell this story to one person, who is that person? Who would they be? And how can I make this story touch them? We all want our books to be read by everyone, and I fully support you in your dream of that. But we also have to have an understanding that when you try to please everyone, you please no one. So you can really help yourself if you hone in on who is the best person to be reading your book. For you, that might be your mom. That might be a friend. That might be a student that you know. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of a cheat code too. If you can think really specifically about this person, they may be someone in your life, and then you can imagine that you are actually telling your story directly to them. So you can tunnel vision and tell your story to them. The easiest way to tell a story is to sit down across from someone and tell them, or sit down and have a drink and tell them, or sit down at a park and just tell them. So if you're telling someone your story, it comes out a little bit easier. So make it easy for yourself and think of the one person maybe in your life who you would want your book to land with. Once you have that person, keep them close in your heart and in your mind so that when you're writing, you can remember and keep in mind that one day you want to make sure that this book gets into their hands. And it'll be really easy if they're a real person. Okay, so to pull that all together, today we're really focused on who your reader is. And we're really trying to make that a very specific person, and if you can, making that a person that you know personally in your life. It doesn't have to be your mom, doesn't have to be your best friend, doesn't have to be someone you have super close contact with. This could be someone that you've had occasional contact with who has expressed to you that they're interested in the exact same thing that you're writing about. And that'll make writing your book really fun when you can imagine them sitting there actually reading it. So let's get to imagining and let's get to outlining. If you're in book camp and you have questions for me, make sure you send me an email so we can talk one-on-one. If you're doing this challenge on YouTube, go ahead and drop a question down below so that I can answer it for you. If you're looking for me anywhere, all of my links are down in the description box. Happy writing, good luck with everything, and happy outlining. Thanks, guys.